Now, the frontline county in the war against illegal immigration is, of course, Kent, because that's where the boats land. And social services in Kent have been lumbered again and again with huge numbers of young people to look after. But Charlie Peters, GBNews reporter, has something here, I think, as a story that is going to make people in Kent absolutely furious.
That's right, Nigel. In July, Kent lost a High Court battle along with the Home Office, which said that they were unable to house unaccompanied asylum-seeking children in the hotels. They deemed that unlawful. So as a consequence, they were forced to move to find new premises to house asylum-seeking children throughout the county. So they quite covertly went about identifying 9 sites to use. They've picked up 2 already. We don't know where they are. But from local viewers of GB News in Kent, we've learnt that one site in Dartford called the Limes, they started repurposing it in October without consulting the local community. Serious works went on for a couple of months before it was revealed that this site was being used for such a purpose. We've also uncovered today that that site has a covenant placed upon it, a restrictive covenant from 1964 between the NHS and Kent County Council, ruling that they can only use that premises as an old person's home. However, they've gone against that with this repurposing in order to develop it for a new purpose for the asylum-seeking children. Now, this, of course, has been an extremely contentious issue for the government for some time now. 118,000 people have crossed in the small boats since this started, many more in lorries, of course, as well, which often isn't included in that stat, and we mustn't forget that. And at the same time, some 7,000 people under 18 have made that crossing from July 2021 to December of last year.
Well, at least claiming to be.
Yes, indeed, and that is a big part of the problem. Some of the information I've received from the Home Office today is saying that they have robust checks in place, but they can't, guarantee this process. And as we've discussed this story on the channel today, many viewers have gotten in touch with their own experiences. A lot of foster carers watch this channel, and they've said, as this process has gone up and the state has really struggled to deal with the number of children claiming asylum over the last few years, they've been left in cases where they're convinced that they actually had adults in their homes. This is all, of course, extremely precarious, and for the local community not to be told what's going on in the area, what this significant building is being repurposed for, that's generated a lot of concern. At the same time, Kent not saying where those other locations are is also adding fuel to that fire. Kent is saying they're doing that for safeguarding reasons. They want to protect the children they're looking after. As you'll know, some 158 children are still missing after it was revealed last year that many children have been picked up from these hotels. But we also have learnt that this current location in Dartford, children are allowed to leave unsupervised. There's a 10 p.m. curfew, 24/7 security. But if the gangs can target them at hotels, there's no reason to suggest the same won't go on again.
No, absolutely. Charlie Peters, thank you. Now, Adam Cherry was out today with Amnesty International, who held a protest outside Parliament. They hired a Rishi Sunak lookalike to play the Wheel of Misfortune over the Rwanda bill, which basically had all the problems they had with the policy. Adam saw this earlier on today. These people never, ever give up.
Government and Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister, should stop playing political games, dystopian horror games with people's lives, with the rule of law and with human rights. So the right to asylum is something that anybody has a right to if they are under the circumstances where they have to flee persecution, conflict, war, whatever it might be. That right is universal. It's for anybody. It would happen to you and I if in that situation happened in the UK, and that right needs to be respected. And at the moment the UK government is not respecting the right to asylum. It's trying to undermine that right. There's a failed policy, there's an immoral policy, a reckless policy, which is not allowing people to make those claims in the UK, and it's got to stop.